Hi, everyone. I'm with David Krushell today, who is the co-founder and ops director of Evolve Your Digital. Welcome, David.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Just kick off, David. Tell us a little bit about your business.
So we've relaunched an existing company that's been going for 5 years. We've joined up as a partnership officially. So Evolve Your Digital has become a new venture from Business Evolution Consultants, which was my company for 5 years, but my business partner sat behind us, was my web development anyway, as a side, on the side basically. So we decided to go official as of sort of November, and we're officially launching on Thursday this week in Leeds. But we specialize in website development, design and building, business support. My business partner is actually an agile coach as well, so we offer that as a service. We could do SEO, digital marketing, and just anything around sort of, I do sales training as well, and anything sort of on business development, client journey, that sort of stuff. I really like getting my teeth into that. And then websites are just a pretty fruition of all of that.
You got a few strings to your bow there.
Yeah, we have combined. I mean, I've got about 15 years in digital transformation. We've got probably about 10 years digital marketing experience. I worked for Yale as a premier account manager, and then obviously been in business myself for 5 years. And just anything really. My natural passion is like just business development and helping companies think of ideas to actually generate more revenue at points of contact with clients and things like that. It just adds a different dynamic to when you talk about websites. And I mean, we'll probably talk about that a bit later on, but the more time you spend with a client prior to the site being built, and understanding their business and their client journey and client profiling, all that sort of stuff, makes a real impact with the websites that you build.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are your best types of customers?
Our best types of customers, really. I mean, we work, I mean, I'd probably say at the moment we're working with obviously SMEs, enterprise levels, probably touch out of our remit. We would never say no, because actually we've found that when doing research, there were some people who've been disappointed with some websites that have been built for them on a larger scale. So it's always worth having the conversations and finding out what's available prior to saying yes. But at the moment, we're probably dealing with businesses with staff between 2 and 15. Average turnover, I would say, is circa maybe 3 million, somewhere around there, between and below. Mm-hmm. Sites of a nature of maybe 5 pages upwards, so between 5 and 25 pages is generally seems to be the average. And we're just growing with our client size as well. Our site size as well is growing. We seem over the last 5 years, especially the projects that we're launching at the moment, are of a decent stature, but it's all about the design and the client journey as well. So it's not just about how they look, it's about what the end goal is for the client, i.e. is there a booking tool? Are they looking to take bookings live and direct from their website? Is it an e-commerce site, looking to push other items as well as sale products and stuff? So as you know, websites, everybody needs one. So they do vary. We do find that we do get a varied amount, but we do like working with the slightly larger. But then we're also bringing into play an entry level option as well, which looks appealing to new businesses.
Okay. So what differentiates your business, David, from others that are out there?
I mean, there are some fantastic webcars out there. Let's just get that out. I'm not dismissing anybody that we're in competition with. I think the success that we've had as a company, though, and what we do get the feedback from is the pre-build state. So before we even get into the build of a website, we, as I say, because Dan's an agile coach, he will only take certain steps if they feel that if there's fruition behind them. So instead of wasting time and building something and then going back and saying, oh, by the way, this isn't quite right, we make sure that before we've even started the build, that we create, something in the first stage that is good enough for them before they progress to the next one. So that it's holding the customer's hand. It's making sure that they're comfortable with every step. It makes sure as well that we don't miss anything. the other web codes will tell you that you do get a lot of toing and froing between customers if there isn't enough communication. So they may say, oh, well, I need this bit changing, and you change it, and they go, no, I didn't mean like that, I mean like that. And that all takes time. And it's cheesy, but time is money when it comes to websites. Usually the more time you spend building a website, the more expensive it is, because it's hourly rates and things like that to actually to progress.
So you've just started in November the combined business. What does the future look like, and what challenges are ahead for you?
Good question. We think as I said, we've been working together for 5 years, so we've kind of got the basis understanding of how we both work within our environment. I'm probably the person at the front, hence why I'm the ops, and he's chief tech. So, it's a good balance, and we're best friends as well, which always helps. I think we're going to just take this year as it comes. I think we've got some nice stuff in the pipeline. We're having the conversations like this, which I wouldn't have had last year, just because we haven't put ourselves out there on LinkedIn as much. But we've done quite a lot over the last 6 months on LinkedIn, and just tried to get our message correct and speak to people. And things just seem to be coming to us a little bit. We seem to be attracting nice traffic, as it were, from people, from clients who spoke to other people and things like that. Because, as I say, that 5 years down the line, you have got a bit of a good name for yourself when it comes to it. So I think challenges are the same as pretty much everyone at the moment. I mean, we're fortunate enough not to have a huge factory with electricity bills and gas and all that sort of stuff. But I think there's still the challenge of the opposite way, when someone says, oh, it's their business that's impacted by the cost of living or the cost of everything that's going on at the moment. And the first thing, unfortunately, which can be slightly backwards, is marketing gets reduced, because people say, well, actually, my marketing budget's a little bit higher this year and I need to pay the bills. And we totally get that. But without attracting new clients, it's a sort of a vicious circle. So I think the challenge is just making sure that we're price competitive, but also we charge enough to prove our value as well, and make sure that we're appreciated for what work we actually do put into the creation of the website. But yeah, this year looks quite positive. Dan's taken the step to go self-employed, so I've got to back him on that. So we've got to make sure we've got the leaky bucket filling, but we're doing all right. He's took the plunge. Yeah,
nice one. So in the 5 years you've been working on your own business, David, what have you learned along the way?
Nothing's guaranteed. I think one of your questions was about the pandemic, and everybody talks about it in a doom and gloom state. I set up another company on the side during then, and it was like a wine delivery company, and it went well for a bit, and then everybody went back to bars and stuff like that, so I just closed it. But it was good while it lasted, and I think you've just got to go for it. I think, if it doesn't cost you a lot of money and it isn't a silly idea, then I kind of think, if someone says, oh, why did you try this? Or, I mean, me and Dan have just had a chat in the kitchen just on lunch about a potential idea that we could do on the side with our websites and stuff like that. And it's like, well, how much will it cost to give it a go? If it's not much, which it isn't, then give it a go, get some feedback, and just go from there. But yeah, nothing's for certain. Contracts can be pulled. People can decide to change elsewhere, and you've just got to remember that you've got to take it nicely and just be, find the positives, be graceful when contracts go another way, and don't burn any bridges. And I think that's sort of stood as well, because sometimes people come back because of the service that you provide. And just try and stay positive as well, because there's a lot of doom and gloom in the news and the media, but actually we're sat in an office in Baildon, and I've got a home with a wife and children and stuff. That's my life, and I'm happy. And I think, it's not, people are struggling at the moment. It's not me saying any otherwise, but I think it's important to remember what the goodness is, what good parts are in your life as well, and just celebrate those really, and try and do right by business as well.
Absolutely. Great advice, David. Thank you very much.